That's so dumb! Dude, this thing is so powerful. Oh, I'm so gonna die. Yeah, damn it.
I mean, is there a better way to start a video about a horror game than a death scene montage? What's up, Acolytes? You are watching this video because you want to know how to get the Platinum Trophy in Dead Space and not because of my wit or charm. Before we get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment on what your favorite part of the remake is. A couple things to start off. First, you're going to want to do this in 3 playthroughs. Start playing on medium difficulty, then story, and then impossible mode. Most trophies you will get on the first playthrough, and then on your second playthrough on New Game Plus, you'll get the rest minus the one you'll get for beating the game on impossible mode. Finally, just focus on all the side quests and backtracking for schematics and weapon upgrades on your first playthrough, while collecting all the marker fragments, fully upgrading equipment, and only using the plasma cutter on your second playthrough, and just focus on not dying in your final playthrough. There are 2 trophies for collecting logs in the game. I'm not going to go over where all of them are, as you should be able to find the necessary amount just playing through the game, but if you want a guide, you can always check out my chapter-by-chapter walkthroughs that are also up on my channel. There is also a trophy for placing 25 items into storage. A quick way to do this is to put all your oxygen tanks and semiconductors into storage, and then when that plus your inventory equals 25, move your whole inventory to storage and you'll unlock the Pack Rat trophy. Now, let's get into Chapter 1. You begin the game as Isaac Clarke and you're part of a repair team sent to the USG Ishimura, and you thought you'd do some work and get to hang out with your girl.
There's something in here with us.
Up there! Oh, interesting.
Oh, God!
You were wrong. Instead, you're running for your life to escape an alien threat. The first room you come to, you'll get the plasma cutter, which I believe is the best weapon in the game. If you're on your second playthrough, this is the only weapon you're going to want to use in order to get a trophy at the end. Moving through the chapter, you'll get to the tram control room, but as you'll find with most of the stuff in the ship, it's broken and it's up to you to fix it. A little ways ahead, you'll pick up stasis, which, besides running away, is the best method in the game to deal with enemies, especially on impossible mode. Eventually, you'll get to the tram repair room where you need to use stasis to help remove a broken tram from the lanes, all while fighting enemies. When you're on impossible mode, again, don't forget to utilize stasis. Oh, I already died! Oh, man. Oh. Oh my god, this is gonna suck. Oh, this is gonna be so bad. Spoiler alert, it actually wasn't, but more on that later. After getting a new tram on the tracks, you then make your way to the maintenance bay where, at least for me, I got my first trophy of the game, Marksman, for dismembering 50 limbs. Fighting through this area, you'll get into the maintenance office where you'll get the data board, and if it's your second playthrough on New Game Plus, your first marker fragment that unlocks the Marked trophy. This is also the first time that you'll encounter the workbench. My advice would be that on impossible mode, just focus on upgrading your suit and 2 weapons. For me, it was the plasma cutter and the pulse rifle that we get at the start of Chapter 2. You can upgrade how you see fit in the first 2 playthroughs, because you're gonna wind up upgrading them all anyways to get a trophy, but more on that later.
Look at this arm. It's freaking out. It's going around like a top.
Leave the spinning arm and the area behind and go back to the tram control room and install the data board to call the tram and get Kendra and Hammond moving before heading back to your badly damaged ship.
Go! What kind of explosion is that it angled me out the window onto the...
With your ship destroyed, it's time to go find the captain. On your way to medical, you'll be able to stop at a store and upgrade your suit to level 2 before getting the Welcome Aboard trophy for completing Chapter 1, and thus, starting Chapter 2. At the start of Chapter 2, you'll get the Kinesis module, which allows you to grab things at a distance and move them. Shortly after, you'll be able to claim your second weapon of the game, the pulse rifle.
Would you like me to kill you? You look like you're in pain. Oh, okay, well you just died anyway.
Collect the pulse rifle and go into the security station where you find out that your task is to create a bomb.
Hello? Are you okay? Oh, no, he's not okay. Uh-huh. That's why you don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
Moving past our drugged up friend, you'll use a battery to take an elevator up, go outside and gasp for air, and use thrusters to cross a room where you'll find the hydrazine canister. With that collected, it's time to backtrack to the security station where you'll fly through space and down an elevator shaft to collect your first schematic of the game. Back at the security station, you'll take the research wing door to the main lab to grab an easy trophy.
Oh, that's definitely not good. Oh, yay!
After pinning the dude and clearing the upper and lower floors of enemies, go into Nicole's office to grab an audio log that will start the Scientific Methods side quest. Going into Dr. Kine's office and using Kinesis on the bookshelf will also get you the next marker fragment on New Game Plus. Head to the lab changing room to collect another schematic before having your run-in with alien babies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just gonna watch you die. Oh, on the plus side, he felt pain for what, like 10 seconds?
Well, after that, just get through the area to get the shock pad, which will complete your bomb to blow up the debris and get to the clinic. In the clinic, you'll find your first weapon upgrade, then you'll listen to a Nicole Hollow before using the circuit breaker to raise a crate and enter a secret room to grab an audio log to progress Nicole's side quest. Move the battery over to the other door and fight through enemies, making your way to the morgue and finding the captain in the autopsy room.
Oh, dude, this is a new cutscene.
Kill the captain and the rest of the enemies to get his rig, which will award you Security Clearance 1. Now head back to the security station and then the tram station to get over to the hangar bay, where you will get the Lab Rat trophy for completing Chapter 2 and begin Chapter 3. At the start of Chapter 3, you have to fly outside where you'll find a new rig, and then down an elevator shaft to get to the engineering deck. Once you get there, activate the diagnostic report, then head to the machine shop where you'll get your next weapon, the Ripper. There is a trophy for each weapon killing 30 enemies, so my advice is keep using the previous ones until the trophy pops, then switch to the new ones. Enter the door in the back of the room to activate another Nicole Hollow that will progress her side quest. Go into the fuel control station where you'll be able to activate the north fuel station before riding a gondola over to the south side. Once over there, you'll have to grab the keycard that unlocks the door to the circuit breaker to divert power to the south fuel station and activate it. Now head back to the control room, and my advice, always check how much ammo you have.
Uh-oh. I'm completely out of ammo. I'm 100% out of ammo! Wait, yeah, crap.
After not dying to the enemies, head to the centrifuge and go through decontamination.
Oh, sure. The last time it was decontaminating, a bunch of things fell out of the sky. If you ever want to kick a baby, that's about what you're gonna get.
When the enemies are dealt with, leave the room and collect another schematic before heading into the centrifuge. In here, you need to use stasis and kinesis to attach the clutch generator modules to the centrifuge, activate it, then run back to the control room, making sure not to get hit along the way.
Go, 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 go. Oh, I'm dead. Crap.
When you do finally leave the room successfully, you will be grabbed by a giant tongue thing where you have to shoot the orange cluster on it to destroy it. Now head to the control room and the now opened engine room, where you'll need to use stasis on one of the fans to access the circuit breaker, turn them off, and open the airlocks. Heading through the now opened airlock, you will find your next weapon of the game, the flamethrower. Go through the next area and down the elevator to find another schematic and, depending on how much you've used stasis in the game so far, get the freeze trophy for using it on 50 enemies. Moving a little further into the area, I was also able to nab the auto fire trophy for killing 30 enemies with the pulse rifle. Once you get to the engine room, you'll be able to collect another schematic as well as a marker fragment if you're on New Game Plus. Use the battery to get the engine started, then fire them up and head back to the control room and then the tram, where you'll get the All Systems Go trophy for completing Chapter 3 and then start Chapter 4. This chapter has us going to the bridge where, on the way, we meet a creature wanting to play whack-a-mole and find out that the sky is literally falling. You then meet up with Hammond to say goodbye to Chen.
Escape pod 47 launched.
Man, it's gonna suck for whoever finds that escape pod.
Then find out you need to reactivate the ADS cannons to not be blown apart by asteroids. He will also increase your security clearance from level 1 to level 2. Before you leave the room, make sure to click on this console to start the You Are Not Authorized side quest. Going upstairs, you run into a brute for the first time, and killing it will grant you the Brute Force trophy. Activate the elevator and take it down to level 2 to find a security clearance 2 room with the contact beam. Go into the next room and be mindful where you walk.
Oh, I did not go on the thing!
Before rerouting power to the ADS cannons. At this stage of the game, I was able to get the Cut Above trophy for killing 30 enemies with the Ripper. Backtrack to the elevator and take it down to level 3, where you'll come across a weird break room that contains your next marker fragment. There's also a secret room in the area you can access by moving a crate and shooting a circuit that will give you another weapon upgrade. Get through all the enemies in the next rooms to use stasis on some flailing power lines and divert power again to the ADS cannons. Now head back to the elevator and take it up to the first floor, jump onto the other elevator and take it up, and for the final time divert power to the cannons. The next room will have a rig schematic, and then make your way outside to recalibrate the 3 cannons and grab your first rig as part of the You Are Not Authorized side quest. And please, don't forget that fire does not work in space.
Hull integrity approaching critical.
Crap. Wait. Oh, crap. Okay, now it's letting me get the weapon. Oh, it's because I'm in space! I'm so stupid.
Once you're back inside, you'll get the Cannon Fodder trophy for completing Chapter 4, and then begin Chapter 5. At the start, backtrack to Engineering, where you restarted the fuel, since you now have level 2 security clearance, and grab a schematic. Now take the tram to Medical and go into the security station, where you'll hear from a Dr. Mercer before finding his test subjects. After shooting the orange cluster, comes your first encounter with a wall enemy, and this is a prime spot to stomp and kill 10 of the tendrils it shoots out to get the Backbreaker trophy. Take the elevator up and shoot a couple more orange clusters to gain access to a level 2 security door with another schematic. Get on another elevator and take it down to enter the chemical lab,
This can only lead to bad things.
where you'll run into Mercer and fight his hunter for the first time. Dismember its legs and use stasis until Kendra can open the door, then sprint back to the security station. Now head to the emergency room where the hunter will reappear. This is also a good moment to say, if you are ever trapped in a room with a bunch of aliens trying to kill you, light everything on fire.
Oh my goodness. I'm stuck. I can't get out of the room. It's my own fault. I did this to myself.
Plus, you may even unlock a trophy for killing 30 enemies with the flamethrower. Pop the battery back into place and access the level 2 security door to find your next weapon, the line gun. Now head into the ICU and access Mercer's office to grab your next marker fragment and lift the lockdown, and then sprint through the gas he pumps into the security station to activate life support. Backtrack to the chemical lab where you can now access cryogenics to find another marker fragment sitting up high. Pick up the liquid nitrogen, which will cause the hunter to enter the room. Then dismember its legs and use stasis on it while it's in the cryo chamber, and run to the control room to activate the cryo freeze. It was at this point in the game I got the Storyteller trophy for collecting 75 logs, as well as the True Believer trophy for completing Chapter 5, meaning it's now time to start Chapter 6. At the start, pick up the tissue sample left by the hunter to start the premeditated malpractice side quest, then head to the tram and take it to Medical, where you'll find the tissue scanner across from Dr. Kine's office before heading to the ICU and watching a holo of Mercer starting to create his hunter. It was at this point in the game that I also got the Surgeon trophy for dismembering 500 limbs. Now take the tram to the hangar bay to get to hydroponics from the tram repair room. Move through the area until you get to the control room where you can trade your liquid nitrogen for an enzyme, then go towards food storage only to hear you can't go to food storage because of a giant Leviathan creature. Leave food storage and move forward to find a weapon upgrade, and then enter the West Growth Chamber where you'll fight a wave of creatures.
Dang, I really tried to kill them both. Oh, how are you not dead? How are you not dead? Dude.
Before exploring the area and injecting your first Weezer, while also finding the Force Gun behind a security level 2 door, which will grant you the full arsenal trophy for collecting every weapon in the game. Now take the elevator up to floor 3 and inject your second Weezer before going to floor 2 and entering the refrigeration tower, where you'll fight a new enemy and have to fly up using kinesis to move panels before finding and injecting your third Weezer. Backtrack to the elevator and enter the other door to inject your fourth Weezer. This is also a good spot to use the Force Gun, Plasma Cutter, and Kinesis to rip off the creature's arm and get the Wishbone trophy. Now shoot the orange cluster and head through the door to shoot more orange clusters that'll reveal another rig for the side quest. Head down the elevator and inject your fifth Weezer before grabbing a keycard and a battery that will help you turn off gravity. Fly straight up to find another marker fragment, then fly over to level 3 to inject your sixth Weezer. Go down to level 2 and go through the door to fight another tongue thing that took me 8 tries this time to beat.
This is agonizing.
But sometimes you need that to truly be able to celebrate.
Oh, yes! Oh! Yes!
Now move forward and grab a schematic in the next room as you fly your way to the top and turn off the turbines before going into the next room, shooting the circuits, and moving your butt before being burned alive. Take the cargo lift up and inject your seventh Weezer before riding an elevator up and injecting your final Weezer. Time to head back to food storage to fight the Leviathan. First, you need to damage the orange clusters on its arms until it starts to shoot them out of its mouth. Then use Kinesis to grab them and fling them back. You'll keep doing that in the final phase while dodging its arms,
or you can just shoot it,
until it is beaten and you get the Exterminator trophy. Leave food storage and you'll get the Greenhouse Effect trophy for completing Chapter 6, and thus begins Chapter 7. Start by leaving hydroponics and taking the elevator up to the mining deck. Go through the area until you get to the elevator and then take it down to the mining sublevel. While fighting the enemies in the elevator, I was able to get the full contact trophy for killing 30 enemies with the contact beam. Get off the elevator and go to the back of the area using crates to block the lasers to enter a room where you have to move more crates to listen to a recording that advances the premeditated malpractice side quest. In the next area, use the battery to take the elevator up to access and click on this console, only to find out you need admin rights, so get back on the elevator and take it up to the processing sublevel. It was in the processing level that I was able to nab the pusher trophy for killing 30 enemies with the Force Gun. There is also a secret room in the area accessed by shooting a circuit that will give you a schematic. In the next area, you need to fly around and shoot rocks into this beam in order to restore gravity. Fighting the enemies that spawn after that, I was able to also nab the Eviscerator trophy for killing 30 of them with the line gun. Head into the next room and pick up the rig that will give you level 3 security clearance. Now that we have level 3 security clearance, we can access this room which contains the next marker fragment. Now backtrack to the elevator and take it to the maintenance sublevel, where just past a wall enemy, you will find a circuit breaker. Switch it to door 2 and you will find Kyne's secret hideout with 2 audio logs that progress Nicole's side quest. Go back and ride the gondola to the other side where Nicole will surprise you, and then unlock a door where upon entering you will find another schematic as well as the SOS beacon. Take the elevator up and turn off gravity to fly down to a level 3 security door that contains a weapon upgrade before flying up and leaving the area to take the elevator back to the mining sublevel. Head once again to the control room, but before you get there, you can now access a level 3 security door that contains a bad rhyme.
Little eyes, what secrets have you seen? That's not how you rhyme, you idiot.
Now head to the control room and once again activate the console, it'll break, and you will have to leave the room and grab the battery to use inside the opposite door to take a cargo lift up. In the mining bay, fly around and use stasis on the tethers to be able to shoot the circuit that destroys them. Then fly outside, being careful not to get hit by the rotating arms, plant the SOS beacon, and destroy the other tethers. Now you can head back to the control room, don't forget the battery, and activate the console to launch the asteroid. This will of course spawn the hunter that you'll need to fend off until you can manually override the door. Hightail it back to the elevator and take it up to the preparation sublevel. Now head to the tram and you'll get the SOS trophy for completing Chapter 7 and thus start Chapter 8. Since we now have security clearance level 3, I chose to start this chapter by backtracking to engineering to grab a rig, and then to medical to grab a couple of different weapon upgrades. Now head to the bridge and activate this console to hear a holo recording as part of the premeditated side quest before heading to hydroponics and accessing this now open room that contains an audio log and a stasis prototype. This concludes the side quest and nabs you the final regeneration trophy. With all the backtracking done, once again head to the bridge and take the elevator down to floor 3, where you can now enter this area and find an office with a rig. Now it's time to fix the comms array by aligning these dishes so the blue makes it to the top. This is also where you will find your next marker fragment on New Game Plus. Hey, remember that escape pod that Hammond launched earlier?
We picked up your escape pod number 47 and are en route to your position.
Escape pod.
Oh, fuck. The pod Hammond jettisoned. It had Chip. That creature was inside.
I guess they shouldn't have, jettisoned that necromorph. Man, Chen's getting around in this game.
Leave and enter maintenance to ride a gondola over to enter a room with a weapon upgrade, and then take an elevator up to find your fight with the Leviathan is not yet over. For this fight, you're given 3 ADS cannons to use to blast the orange clusters on its body. You have to do this while dodging its arms, clusters that it spits, and landmines. Once he is beaten though, you will be given the Get Off My Ship trophy. Now activate the antenna to find out the Valor's fate.
I think they opened the escape pod.
After the Valor crashes, leave and fly to its airlock to get the Strange Transmissions trophy for completing Chapter 8 and begin Chapter 9. Head through the barracks and fight a new enemy where shooting its chest activates stasis, then enter the briefing room grabbing a battery.
Yeah, it's amazing how I'm an engineer. These guys are soldiers. They had one necromorph get on board and everything did this. Baffles the mind. What happens if I remove this? Oh!
And use it to power the elevator. Use the elevator to get to the torpedo bay, but don't make any explosions.
Alright, well, don't do that.
Grab the battery and shoot each circuit so that you can dispose of the warhead. Now enter the armory and the shooting range where it's okay to suck because you just need to kill all the enemies in order to nab the Front Toward Enemy trophy. Enter the infirmary and grab the schematic, which will grant you the merchant trophy for collecting all of the schematics. Get to the cargo bay and fight your way across to the engine room where you will use crates to keep yourself from burning to activate the elevator, then take it up and you will see Hammond and Chen's last moments before being able to grab the Singularity Core and then hightail it off the ship before it explodes. You will end up back in the comms area where you will get the Wreckage trophy for completing Chapter 9 and thus starts Chapter 10. Make your way back to the bridge atrium so you can cross over to the crew deck. Head down the ramp and grab the last rig, which you can now take back over to the bridge and in the captain's nest create the Master Override and nab the full clearance trophy. Take the elevator on the bridge up to now access a door that will have a weapon upgrade. Then head to engineering and inside the machine shop to find a crate that will give you another weapon upgrade. Then cross through the tram to the mining side to find another now accessible door and yet another weapon upgrade. Finally, head to hydroponics and go through the door in the control room to find a crate with, you guessed it, a weapon upgrade. Now head back to the crew deck and get to the tram station where you'll access the common area.
Oh. Well, ain't this a party?
Enter the gym and find a rig schematic, as well as a game you need to play called Z-Ball. Grab the ball and fling it into the colored circles enough times to get to 220 points and nab the Z-Baller trophy.
I am the baller!
Grab the battery and use it to take the cargo lift up, and then grab a key card that you'll use on the door in the common room to take the elevator down to level 1. Watch Mercer kill Temple, and then once again he will unleash his hunter on you. Slow him down and shoot the orange cluster to access this door and get away. Get to the standard quarters and move some chairs and tables out of the way to get through a door and into a room where you'll have to shoot an orange cluster and then grab a battery in order to power an elevator and get back to the central nexus. Take the cargo lift up to get to the deluxe quarters where you can enter a room that will trigger a Nicole recording and then enter the back room to find a weapon upgrade and to play a holo that will nab you the Whole Again trophy. Grab the battery out of the other room and use it to open the doors and then turn around to shoot the orange cluster.
Oh my god, look at that arm. Well, that was crazy.
Go through the now open doors to find another crate with a weapon upgrade. You will also find the next marker fragment here. Backtrack to the central nexus and now enter the executive quarters to find the next cluster to shoot before heading to the now accessible Chief Steward's office to shoot the last cluster and grab another marker fragment. Go back to the central nexus and get the marker moving, then install the singularity core on the shuttle and fire up the engines. This will spawn the hunter and you will need to slow him down behind the engine so you can melt him to death. You'll then get grabbed by a giant tongue thing, watch Mercer die, then kill it. The video call after that got me the Legend Teller trophy for collecting 150 logs, and then the Keeper of the Faith trophy for completing Chapter 10, and thus starting Chapter 11. Head to the tram and take it to the hangar bay, and then enter the tram repair hallway and then the cargo bay.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Take the cargo lift down and you'll find the Pang behind it, which will nab you the There's Always Pang trophy. You'll also find the last weapon upgrade in a crate that you can take to a workbench, and clicking on all the weapons with an exclamation point will give you the Built to Order trophy. Then, on New Game Plus, if you've been buying up nodes and suit upgrades while continuously upgrading your equipment, you'll get the Maxed Out trophy. You will also find your last marker fragment in the cargo bay, so go back to the executive quarters on the crew deck to find the captain's quarters and then click on his table to place them all, which will give you an alternate ending to the game. Back in the cargo bay, shoot all the orange clusters and activate the cargo controls, then raise the bridges to move the marker and raise it into the hangar bay. Head to the hangar bay, shut off gravity, and fly over to the marker to get it moving. Then you need to activate 3 different consoles to rotate track pieces, which will move the marker and eventually load it onto the ship. Re-engage gravity and then watch as Kyne is killed by Kendra, who reveals that she works for an organization that made the marker and they are trying to bury their secrets. At this point, Nicole calls you and you are able to recall the shuttle, board it, and head to the planet where you will get the Betrayed trophy for completing Chapter 11, and thus begins Chapter 12. Leave the ship and tap the console to unload the marker, then enter the atrium and grab the battery to restore power to the shutter and move the marker. Raise the bridges in the next room to keep the marker moving, then restore power in the following room by finding batteries and plugging them in to activate the console, raise the bridges, and keep the marker going. In the next area, you only need to shoot a couple orange clusters and activate the console to move the marker outside. Once outside, you have 3 orange clusters to shoot in order to activate the console, and once the marker reaches the end, load it onto the pedestal. At this point, Kendra shows up to reveal that Nicole actually killed herself, and that Dr. Cross from Hydroponics is who you were talking with the whole time. Kendra then kills Cross and steals the marker, and you have to race her back to the shuttle, where she deservedly dies, and you get to fight the Hive Mind. You have to fight him in 3 stages. First, shoot the orange clusters, avoiding the spores that it shoots. Then avoid its acid and tentacles while shooting the orange clusters inside of it. Then it will grab you and you'll need to shoot the one on its head to kill it. On impossible mode, you'll need to shoot it a few times and it could come right down to the wire.
Oh my god, there we go. Yes!
Alright! And for killing the Hive Mind, you will get the Mindless Prey trophy. Head into the shuttle and watch as all of your hard work awards your last remaining trophies, and after impossible mode,
and there it is! Concordance Officer, we got the Platinum Trophy. Oh yeah. Feels good. We have 100%ed the game.
And just like that, the game is over and you're ready to move on and platinum your next game. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you got as much out of it as I put into it. If this is the kind of content you like, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I'll have new videos coming out, and don't forget to watch me over on Twitch at Darth Centralis.